Hello everybody, my name's Kobe and welcome to the short story of Assassin's Creed. In this series I'll be giving a quick rundown of the story from all the main Assassin's Creed games. This will be done with some comprehensive commentary, a lot of cuts and the occasional cheesy gag. Just saying, weren't you going in unprepared after all? As you should with this kind of thing. We'll start at the beginning, because otherwise it wouldn't make any sense at all. As for now, the intro cinematic of Assassin's Creed 1 is playing fully, so to give me time to actually set up things like this intro. Thanks for sticking with me through that. The rest will be cut to shorter pieces, not all cinematics will be played, and I'm not going to run ahead in the narration so as to keep the story and the information you'll get in the game. I might be cutting like the cutscenes a bit, but at least it will give you some bit of submersion. So the game starts with what either could be a flashback or forward. In any case, it shows off the dashing skills of a cloaked assassin as well as a nice graphics for a game of 2007. After a quick stab from a hidden blade that we now all know and love, a cumbersome chase through some medieval streets and a couple of unwieldy sword swings and a lot of dramatic suspense, we come to the point that our assassin reveals the biggest weakness of their enemy. The apparent inability to distinguish an assassin from a group of clerks or scholars. The game starts off with some confusing flashes and voices indicating that this is not a good thing.
You've got a problem.
Like, that's not apparent enough. We learn that the main protagonist's name is Desmond and that he has some trauma that somehow results in this strange faceless purgatory. After being certain that every player with epilepsy has had their fair share of flickering images, Desmond gets pulled out. Here we meet some nice, quote-unquote, new people, and the reason Desmond had these strange visions. Well, sort of. Desmond gets off against the old man and yells that he has been kidnapped and strapped to this thing that gave him these weird images. The old geezer in the white coat tells him it's anonymous. The device is used in Desmond because the company these people work for wants some information that he has. Desmond, on his turn, quote-unquote politely, offers them a recipe for a martini, as he's a bartender of profession and that's what he knows. The old man says he knows how and what Desmond actually is, an assassin. Apparently Desmond was born into that title and knowingly grew up as an assassin but fled the place where they are trained, hence the reason the company came after him, as he was on his own. There's safety in numbers, people. The doctor implies that if Desmond does not cooperate, they'll take the memories by force. But if he cooperates and they get what they want, he will be a free man once more. Otherwise, they'll just kill him. Well, what a shocker. So far, the eloquence of the old bastard. As the good prisoner he is, Desmond gets back into the machine. Meanwhile, the lady with a pretty face just stands there being pretty. Just before continuing his journey, Desmond gets to hear that the Animus is a projector that reads genetic memory. As the old man calls it. That the company that is after some piece of Desmond's info found out that memories isn't only stored in your brain, but that the memory of your ancestors supposedly is stored in your genetic makeup. The Animus helps you stroll through ancestral memory lane. Somewhere along this lane is what these nice people are looking for. For some weird reason, they now, not earlier, decide that Desmond should get a tutorial before going back.
I'm uploading the tutorial.
So, after some quick lesson in stuff like pushing people with jars on their heads, grabbing and throwing faceless persons around, some ruthless backstabbing with retractable blades, hiding in obvious places, and discovering that medieval assassins had some weird kind of spidey sense, we start off with a straight annihilation and backstab. So, whoops, you've killed an innocent bystander. And don't judge me, it was a cutscene. And one of the other assassins on assignment with you said you have disregarded your teachings. Killing innocents goes against the creed of assassins and brings dishonor as well as visibility to the order. So, not a good thing. After the disagreement and some deep words,
nothing is true, everything is permitted,
like your ordinary dogmas, it turns out that you're a massive dick and have a very strong mind of your own that doesn't really work well with others. The mission to retrieve something that the Templars are also looking for continues. It's not really clear what that is yet. The Templars are from this point forward depicted to be the arch nemesis members of the Assassin's clan back on the way, and after some more tutorial-esque jumping, climbing and backstabbing a Templar that's conveniently not looking the way he's supposed to, your party of assassins find the Ark of the Covenant. You don't believe that it exists, but nonetheless it looks expensive and precious. Unfortunately, a certain of the Templars is there with his own party, and for some reason you really want him dead, which is again your own idea and not part of the mission. Although Robert de Sable supposedly is one of the biggest enemies of the Order of Assassins. Your fellow assassin once again does not agree with your plan. After some bickering, you pull the high rank card and jump into it anyway. After a very un-assassiny way of just talking and walking up to the Templars in an awkward stroll, followed by a very dodgy assassination attempt, friendly Robert says he'll let you live to deliver the message that all assassins will die. Like, we haven't heard that kind of plot before. You get thrown out of the room and your fellow assassins are left to fight for their own survival. A couple of jumps, some parkouring skill prowess and a flash forward later and we arrive at the town of Masyaf. This is where the Assassin's headquarters are located. Here we finally learn that the name of your character within these memories is Altair. After a jog, we get a quick glimpse of the Assassin's headquarters. Definitely not as inconspicuous as it could be. At the gate we meet a not-so-friendly ally, with which some actual death threats are muttered. He apparently knows about your not up-to-date work ethics. Honestly, Robert seemed nicer company. We meet our master in the library of this fast assassin's hideout and inform him that we have failed in a very expected rant. He says to be disappointed in you because you failed him, albeit being the best assassin he has at his disposal. Just as it seems that you're about to just get put off the case, Malik steps forward with a bloody limp arm. He was one of the assassins that was with you, and apparently the other one was his brother Qatar. He did die. Bummer. But Malik seems fairly fine with it. Malik reports about your clumsy sassiness to the master and says that he himself brought the mission to a successful end, but did not kill Robert. In fact, he brought them to Masyaf with an army, so a battle ensues. The master says Altair has to help, and their discussion will follow later. Now it is your mission to distract the Templars so your comrades can save those still trapped in the village. So after a quick run to the village, some slashy and stabby on the bad people, more killing than distracting them, you manage to give the last of your comrades the chance to run for the fortress. Your job isn't done though. After it is apparent that most people are safe, you get the mission of displaying no fear for the enemy that has amassed in front of the gate. You show that by faking suicide. Not really a great message, while in reality you land in a trusty hay bale. Parkour around back and drop some very big logs on the unsuspecting Templars. And so the enemy besieger and his army is defeated by being crushed under a bunch of immensely large tree trunks, though Robert somehow still escapes. After this, the talk that the master and you have to finish now take place in the inner court in display of everyone. Talk about public shaming. The master thanks you for listening during the siege and presses on the point that the current success was thanks to your obedience. He can't have the arrogance you have displayed and wants to punish you for not following the Assassin's Creed. After a quick thread up of the rules, kill no innocents, hide in plain sight and never compromise the Brotherhood, and blaming you for all lives lost today, he stabs you in the belly. Alright, end of the game, time to get back to reality. The game jumps to Desmond's point of view with the grumpy old scientist, exclaiming you're adapting a lot better than former subjects, so apparently you're not the first captive. The a lot nicer sounding hot young female scientist pulls you out against the old man's will to make sure you're not overdoing it. I get a feeling we all know how she's going to turn out. She reveals his name is Warren, and while Desmond recovers, they continue their conversation in the conference room adjacent to Desmond's cell. You get a bit of snooping around time and find a vent between the conference hall and your sleeping arrangements. Quite conveniently. It's a surprise no one saw this as a possible problem. Damn architect. You hear Warren going on about insubordination against the lovely young woman who, in her turn, calls Warren stupid if he would push things too hard and get Desmond in bad shape. Warren warns her that he hasn't set up the deadlines and seemingly threatens her, "Do you want to wind up like Linda?" At which Blondie says she knows about an accident but doesn't understand. It appears the organization they're working for doesn't really play nice. Poor lady. Eventually the two agreed to arrest, but also to increase the staying power of the Animus, as to increase the time that Desmond can be his former older self. After they come out of the conference room, Warren suggests you should get some rest, so you do. I'm also going to leave this here. We have a nice little beginning of the story, and this is a good stopping off point, so tune in next time for the rest of the story. I hope you liked it. If you did, don't feel embarrassed to say it. If you didn't like it, also don't feel embarrassed to say it, but please make it constructive. Signing off. Bye.